My name is Gary. I'm the co-founder of Doggerbox.
Hi, I'm Deanna from the Pet Taxi.
Guys, Michael J. Stoller here, founder of Blue Line Canine Dog Training.
Guys, my name is Paula. I'm the founder of Grooming.
I fixed all of the technical issues on my website and really boosted my online presence through SEO.
Helped us increase organic traffic by 56.31%.
Word count grew 119%.
Excel Marketing has helped create an amazing website for Doggerbox.
If you have a pet brand and need someone to handle your marketing, Varnit's Pet Excel Marketing is the right choice for you.
If you have a pet brand and you want to grow it, I highly recommend Pet Excel Marketing.
And if you're looking for a marketing agency that's going to boost your pet brand and bring it to the next level, then look no further than Pet Excel Marketing.
I would highly recommend the marketing services of Pet Excel Marketing if you want to promote your pet brand.
They've made a real difference for us, and I can almost guarantee they're going to do the same for you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Pet Brand Podcast, where we dive deep into the mind behind the pet industry's most inspiring brands, innovation, and success stories. So today's guest is a true pioneer in the world of pet grooming and education, Joe Zuccarello. Joe is a pet industry veteran whose career spans over 3 decades, including impactful partnership with major brands like Petco, PetSmart. He's also the visionary behind the Paragon School of Pet Grooming, an institution that has transformed grooming education with its modern tech-driven approach, from helping business grow 700% to producing over 1,000 instructional videos. Joe's influence in the pet space is nothing short of legendary. I'm Varnit, your host and the voice behind the Pet Brand Podcast. Whether you are a pet entrepreneur, marketer, or simply passionate about pets, this show is your front row seat to learning from the best in the business. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into Joe's story from his early days in the industry to building a brand that's shaping the future of pet grooming. Let's get into it. Joe, thank you so much for being a part of Pet Brand Podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Love it. So yeah, let's start from the beginning, because the journey, it's kind of like always set the tone, right? So can you take us back to the beginning? Like, how did you first enter the pet industry?
Sure. So, I started as a teenager bathing dogs for a little grooming shop in the St. Louis, Missouri area.
Wow.
And it was just a Saturday gig that, cash under the table. And what was great about it is that while I never became a professional dog groomer, I enjoyed the industry so well that I stayed in the industry. And now just actually in February, just celebrated my 40th anniversary in the pet industry. So it's been my entire career. The first 22 years of my career were in the services space, so pet lodging, daycare training, grooming. And then I moved into the product part of our industry in the product space, which was developing new products and innovation for a grooming and dental products company. And now I'm on the education side with both professional consulting and the education side of helping individuals and pet-related businesses grow their future dog grooming professionals.
And as your career gained momentum, you begin collaborating with some of the big names in the industry, like Petco, PetSmart, HSN, right? So how did those partnership came about, and like what was the learning curve? Like what did you learn from that, and what are you implementing it on the Paragon pet grooming?
Right. So, I had a wonderful opportunity to get experience and exposure to these multi-unit retailers, the big retailers, big box retailers, but also with independents throughout as well. And in my career, I've been invited all over the globe to meet with distributors and pet retailers and pet service providers. And what I've found is that the passion and love for pets is worldwide. And the need for professional grooming is stronger now than ever. It just continues to accelerate year after year after year because pet ownership is at record levels. And, we have this thing called doodles, right? All of these golden doodles, labradoodles, this a doodle, that a doodle. And, they need haircuts. And it goes beyond haircuts. It's really health through hygiene efforts. So by maintaining a pet's hygiene, we're actually able to improve their health, which gives them a better quality of life, which means that they're going to be part of their pet parent's life for even longer.
For someone who's listening to this podcast and who is not like well aware of the pet industry, what do you think, like what's fueling this crazy growth in the pet industry?
Pets are companions, and there's this unconditional love. There's this emotional transaction that happens between a pet and a person, and it seems to, it used to be that the dog was the animal in the backyard with a doghouse, a bowl of water, and a tie-out steak, right? And then the pendulum swung completely to the other direction, where then we
Mm,
were doing
mm,
spa services with facial scrubs and paw balms and massage therapy. And while some of that still exists, it's actually now sort of regulated and shifted back more toward lifestyle companion. And
mm.
we want these creatures, our pets, to be able to go with us everywhere we go. So hotel friendly
Yeah.
environments, travel friendly environments,
Mm, mm,
restaurant friendly environments,
mm.
hospitals, daycares, even courtrooms where pets are
Wow.
supporting, especially there's a whole program around pets in the courtroom supporting children who have to testify, and because that can be very scary. So pets are therapy. They're healing, and uh,
Mm.
it's not going to slow down. Pets are always going to hold that spot in our heart.
Wow. Wow. Love it. Talking more about the Paragon School of Pet Grooming, your entrepreneurial path eventually, led to creation of the Paragon School of Pet Grooming, a name that's now synonymous with excellence in the grooming education. What was the core mission of Paragon, and how has it evolved since its founding, like 1992?
Well, when we first started Paragon, it was started by Melissa Verplank, who is still the owner and founder of the business. And she was a professional groomer. She
Wow.
had a fleet of mobile vans, mobile grooming vans,
Mm,
back in the early 90s, which was very forward thinking. You didn't see a lot of mobile businesses. And one thing she recognizes, there was inconsistencies in professional grooming and how people learned the
mm,
skills necessary for safe, efficient, quality pet grooming.
mm,
So
mm,
she
mm,
launched the Paragon School of Pet Grooming in the early 90s,
mm,
and it was an on-campus grooming school in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
mm,
And when when uh, somewhere around the 2017, 2016 period, her and I were working together. I was her business coach off and on for about 6 years.
wow.
And she said, I have this very special thing. I've got this curriculum. Where we
Mm,
train
mm,
groomers. We're doing a really great job, but I want to take this bigger. I want to take it to the rest of the industry. I want to take it to people that can't afford time to relocate for 4 to 6 months to go to grooming school, or
mm.
can't afford 15 to $20,000 for this education. I want to
Wow.
figure out a way to bring it to them
Mm,
faster and less expensive. So I joined the team in February of 2018
mm,
and spent about 12 months with my team and our developers, and we launched our web-based program, which essentially took all of the DNA of the on-campus experience, packaged it in a web-based delivery mechanism,
mm.
and now we will graduate more students in a month or in a week than we would have
Wow.
graduated in a year.
Wow, wow, love it. So like back in like 1992, like Paragon was that the first grooming school at that time, or like there were other grooming school around at that time too?
There have been other grooming schools that
Okay.
have been established.
Hmm.
Currently, many have not survived.
Yeah.
Many have closed. Paragon. We launched our web-based program in 2019,
Mm,
January of 2019. So we
mm,
were a whole year before anybody even knew what COVID meant.
mm,
A whole year before the pandemic.
mm,
So
mm,
when we were forced to close like everybody else was, we
mm.
had this head start. So we didn't have to slow
Wow.
down considerably. And then
Mm,
in May of 2020, Melissa and I, we decided that we weren't going to reopen the on-campus school. So we were going to focus
wow.
all of our resources, all of our energy
Mm,
at the web-based solutions program, and it has just accelerated from there.
mm. And even right now, there are many grooming school and training programs out there, right? So what do you think, like,
Yeah.
what makes Paragon's approach to grooming education stand out in such a competitive industry?
It's our people. We've got an incredible curriculum. It's a proven, methodical,
Mm,
crawl, walk, run approach to
mm,
safe, efficient, quality pet grooming. But it's our people. our people are what makes the difference between Paragon and really any other educator.
Mm.
We've got a team of incredible skills development coaches and mentors and administrative staff. Our developers, our video production team, everybody is centered around what we call our one big objective, and that is helping others achieve their success. And that's our common law. That's how we do our business. That's how we serve our customers. That's how we serve our employer customers,
Mm.
our student customers, and even our internal customers. Our own team and our culture is all around that common law, that one big objective, our OBO, if you would, is helping others achieve their success.
Wow, love it, love it. And speaking of, innovation, technology is transforming how education is, delivered everywhere. Just you're talking about, right? So, what role does technology play in grooming education today, and like, where do you see that it is heading in future?
Technology is more available, more affordable, and more
Mm.
user-friendly than ever. It's
Yeah,
faster,
yeah.
it's less expensive. So what's really nice is that, there was a day when if you were going to watch videos, right, on your computer, you would need you'd have a lot of buffering happening and such. We're able to deliver our curriculum now on all mobile devices, anywhere that there's a web connection. We've got students that are taking our courses. We've got students that are sometimes they're doing it around or during their normal life with their family.
Yeah.
Maybe they're already employed somewhere and they're doing this in
Okay.
the evenings or
Side gig,
weekends.
yeah.
So they're able to
Mm.
consume the education now so
Mm.
much more readily than
Mm.
ever before. And we're continuing to make advancements in those spaces as well, just continuing to
Mm.
re-innovate and deliver the best education for the most affordable price, but the most complete and
Mm.
offer the most
Mm.
complete resources so that they can get to work in their new career right away.
Mhm. Well, let's say somebody is listening to this podcast and they're interested in, pet grooming and everything, right? So how much time does it take to complete a course curriculum, and what kind of income they can generate after graduating from one of your courses?
Well, we have three different levels. We have our very first level, which is called our Certified Professional Groom Tech. And a
Okay.
Certified Professional Groom Tech is the entry level, teaches the fundamentals of the beginning stages of becoming a professional groomer.
Mm. Mm.
That particular level, our average completion time is somewhere around 6 to 8 weeks. So
Okay.
it's relatively short.
Mm.
It really
Mm.
just depends on the availability of the person, the
Yeah, yeah.
student, their
Mm.
time, but also
Mm. Mm.
availability of and volume and variety of dogs that they can work with.
Mm.
So our second level is our certified professional pet groomer. This is the basic pet trims of most all dogs that would come into a professional grooming salon or a
Mm. Mm.
mobile grooming business or a home-based business. And then
Mm.
our third level, which is certified professional pet stylist. This is our graduate level. This is the more elaborate hand scissoring and breed patterns and such. So where level one is about 6 to 8 weeks average completion time,
Mm.
level two and level three are each about 8 to 10 weeks average completion time. So if you went from start to finish and you were dedicated at this, within 4 to 6 months, you have a whole new skill set, a whole new career
Yeah.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And like in terms of like current market, how much they can expect to earn, let's say a beginner entering this market right now.
In their very earliest stages, a certified professional groom tech is probably still an hourly position, probably
Okay.
at a pet care
Mm, definitely.
facility or a
Yeah.
pet retailer. So
Mm.
they're probably hourly, where their income level or their income potential accelerates tremendously is when they graduate level two and certainly level three. But a professional groomer, this is what's beautiful about the professional pet groomer trade, because really it is a trade, just like any other trade might be. This skilled position, it is not uncommon to see groomers who make 50, 60, 80, over a
Wow.
$100,000 per year.
Wow.
I
Mm.
know several groomers,
Mm.
and when I say several, hundreds, thousands maybe, that are well over $100,000 a year in income and
Wow.
no student debt. No, they're not going to school for 8 years
Mm,
to learn a specialty. This is something that post high school or even these reskilling
mm.
career reset opportunities within a relatively short period of time for a very low investment in themselves,
Wow. Mm,
they have six figure income potential.
wow. Hmm.
It's yeah, it's and doing something that they love.
Yeah, that's
People
what I was
people
talking
that
about
do
because I
this,
think most of the people who enter this industry, they love dogs, right?
that's
And
right.
they are doing it, and at the same time that they are making money, right?
That's correct. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so talking about sustained growth in any industry, like it's especially takes foresight and adaptability in the market, especially in one as dynamic as pet care, right? So what are some strategic moves that have helped Paragon grow revenue consistently over year by year?
So one of our main focuses is that we do see it as a professional trade. It is a skill set that people that have a passion for pets, people that have a certain amount of artistry or creativity, and want and don't they're not afraid of working hard because
Okay.
it is a physical job, but when done properly and done well, this career can span 20 to 30 years. So what Paragon has done is Paragon comes in and says, we recognize that this is an in-demand profession. There are simply not enough professional dog groomers to go around. With the industry continues to grow by double-digit growth. There's very few industries that are recession resistant as much as the pet industry. So the
Mm-hmm.
demand for professional pet groomers is strong. So we cater to not only the individuals, but we're also partnering with these pet services companies or these pet retailers to
Mm-hmm.
help them grow. So we partner with the businesses who need these individuals to grow their overall business. And in doing so, everybody wins.
Wow. Wow. Hmm. And for those who's listening to the podcast and they are just getting started, like what advice would you give to someone launching a pet brand or let's say pet grooming brand today with limited resources?
So if you are an employer, if you're going to be an employer,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking to have or offer grooming services, which I highly recommend. So even if you're a pet supplies retailer or you're a small pet services
Mm-hmm.
provider and you're going to follow my advice and offer pet grooming services, you can look for existing groomers in your market who might want to come and work for you in your new pet business. But understand the reality is there's just not enough of them to go around. So while you continue to look for existing staff or
Mm-hmm.
existing talent in your market, put a lot of emphasis and a lot of consideration into allowing Paragon to step in and help making growing your own grooming staff easy. And that's where we can augment their staffing efforts to help them overcome these staffing shortages or these staffing challenges. And it is proven, it's statistically proven that people that learn on the job stay in that job longer than people that you hire in that already have a skill. Because if they left somewhere else, they
Yeah.
can leave you.
Mm-hmm.
So by creating a culture that people don't want to leave, and one solid way of doing that is investing in them and growing their skills inside your own culture, you have a much better chance of holding on to those people. If you're listening to this podcast now and you're an individual who is out there looking for an opportunity, looking to see what career path you want to follow, if you love pets,
Yeah.
and the idea of improving their well-being and helping them maintain their health through hygiene is appealing to you,
Mm-hmm.
consider a career in professional pet grooming. In fact, go and talk to employers in your market, pet services providers, pet grooming companies, places, pet retailers, and ask them if they have a training program. Maybe even ask them if they do business already with Paragon. You might get your education paid for by your employer.
Wow.
We
Mhm.
have several employers that use Paragon exclusively to grow their staffing,
Mm.
to grow their grooming staff. So you might be able to go get a job at one of these companies and earn while you learn and
Wow.
get your education paid for.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Talking about the marketing branding side of thing, what do you think, like what's one marketing channel, or let's say one marketing approach that has given you the best ROI in terms of like getting more sales and everything?
Specifically for Paragon, social media, the engagement of social media is very positive. Appearing on podcasts with really great podcasts with really great audiences helps get exposure
Okay.
to this.
Hmm.
We then we do we obviously do the Google ads and
Okay, okay.
those types of
Hmm.
things as well. But what's really interesting is we get a lot of our business through strong partnerships. So
Okay.
from other brands,
Hmm.
from industry partners who speak to the same audience that we do, but in a non-competitive space.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
we we work with them. It's just making sure that we are involved and interested in growing other people's businesses by
Hmm.
helping them get what they want.
Hmm.
In the pet related and pet services space, how they're getting more business. So if you're a pet business and you're a pet groomer or a pet retailer,
Hmm.
how you get more business, it is highly dependent on word of mouth. And
Okay.
that's the brilliance about offering grooming services is that grooming services, if you're a pet retailer, grooming services helps drive foot traffic and frequency and loyalty and repeated visits. In
Hmm.
fact, it's proven that people that pet retailers who also offer grooming,
Hmm.
their grooming customers visit on average 4 to 6 times more per
Hmm.
year
Hmm.
and spend on average 20 to 25% more per transaction. So if you're a
Wow.
pet retailer who's competing against, the big dot coms,
Hmm. Hmm.
you can't get your dog groomed online. So out-service them by offering services.
Yeah. Hmm. All right. And on the flip side, like, many pet brands like struggle to find their, footing early on. So what's one marketing mistake do you see most pet brands make, and like how they can avoid it?
A lot of a lot of pet brands that I've studied over the years talk a lot more about the what they do or how they do it instead of why they do it.
Hmm.
One of my most favorite business influences is Simon Sinek. And
Hmm.
Simon, his original book and TED Talks start with why. He
Hmm.
says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And if a brand can convey why they do what they do, the
Hmm.
what and the how will come naturally in tow.
Okay.
So the packaging, the messaging, the
Hmm.
website, the
Hmm.
testimonials, the
Hmm.
just the genuine, the authenticity
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
a brand, if they
Hmm.
focus on why they do it, that is such a
Hmm.
much better story
Hmm.
to tell their customer prospects. It's like what we talked about just a moment ago. Paragon's one big objective is our why, helping others achieve their success.
Yeah.
That's our true north.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people listen to this and then they, get on with the mission, with the passion that you have, right?
Mhm. Yep, yep,
Mhm.
yeah. And for package designers, one of my tips for package designers, because I was in product for 10 years,
Okay.
product and package development,
Mm,
there's a rule of three fives, and that is when your product is on a shelf or presented to a customer without anybody standing around, when your customer prospect is standing in front of your product needs to say what it does within within 5 feet away in 5 seconds. A
wow.
fifth grader should be able to tell you what your
Mm,
product
mm,
does. So just
mm,
remember the three fives and that it's not dumbing down your messaging because like Paragon, we're not a product on a shelf somewhere, but we
mm,
focus on making sure that we speak simple,
mm,
not because somebody's not intelligent, not
mm,
because somebody can't understand what you're trying to say. It
mm.
just makes it easier.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no there's no need to there's
Yeah.
no need to overcomplicate.
Yeah. 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 There's no need to become like a smart person, right? Using complicated words just to
You
to
don't
appear
have to be
smart.
smart when you have the heart,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everybody's smart, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to over smart your customers. They're not
Yeah.
impressed by that. What'll impress
Yeah.
them is the heart, not the smart.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And beyond business, like you were stating, like you stepped into the media space yourself as a podcast host, right? So how has podcasting helped build your personal and professional brand?
We are all about relationships, and just
Mm.
like what you're doing, you're bringing information to your audience because
Yeah.
you want to serve them. You have a relationship with your audience. It's the same thing that we do, and through the Hey Joe Pet Pro podcast as well, is
Mm.
that we want to be the advocate for our audience. We want to be able to ask the questions. You're asking me the questions as the mouthpiece or the advocate for your audience. I do the same thing on my podcast, the Hey Joe Pet Pro podcast.
Mm.
I'm that mouthpiece or that advocate for
Mm.
our audience to help
Mm.
them get the resources that they could benefit from without them having to go search very hard for them.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Talking about the partnerships and the leadership, right? What's your leadership philosophy when it comes to building it's like a strong team in the pet space?
Yeah, again, it goes back to that whole internal external customer promise. We make the same promise to our external customers as we
Mm.
do to our
Mm.
internal customers. So
Mm.
I really believe that we need to treat our teams as well as we treat our customers. And if we do that, then we're serving. We don't have to surrender. We don't have to give up the alpha position, but a good leader still takes control without having to be controlling. And takes control, takes responsibility, and it's something that I call tone from the top. If you want if you want your company to behave in a certain way, the leader
Mm.
has to behave in that way.
Okay. Mm. Definitely. Talking about the more about the mindset, learning and legacy, right? You have mentored countless professionals over the years. What do you think, like what quality do the most successful one share?
The most successful, really the most successful students, the most successful consulting clients for my consulting
Mm.
part of the
Mm.
of the business, for the Paragon part of the business, or anybody, even in just networking circles, the most successful are those people that have a purpose, the people that understand the why they do what they do, the people that can convey that clearly,
Mm.
that can take responsibility for errors or direction that doesn't go the way that we thought it would go.
Mm.
I
Mm.
really think the ones that do the best are the ones that are okay with failing,
Okay.
but fail fast, right?
Yeah.
So if you're
Mm.
going to fail, fail fast. Don't
Mm.
keep hanging on to
Mhm.
failure. Let it
Basically,
go.
experiment.
Test,
Yeah.
right? You're right. Test, iterate,
Mm.
experiment, and approach things like that, and come into that as a temporary sort of proving a hypothesis.
Mm. Mm.
And you'll give yourself a lot of you'll cut yourself a lot of slack, I think, if you come in and you're okay with failing as a part of learning.
Mm. Mm. Definitely. Looking ahead, like many are curious about how you view your broader contribution to the pet industry. So, what do you think? Like, what kind of legacy are you hoping to leave in the pet industry?
That's a great question. I continue to push for more professionalism in this
Mm.
profession.
Mm. Mm.
The service providers in this industry, on the pet grooming, pet boarding, pet training,
Mm.
on the
Mm.
services side, the daycare side,
Mm.
what I'm enjoying watching is the
Mm.
level of quality, the level of professionalism
Mm. Mm.
heightening. It's getting better, it's getting
Yeah.
stronger, because
Mm.
when that happens, then our customers respect those service providers
Mm.
even
Mm.
more,
Mm.
right? And I think that will feed on itself. My legacy personally would be that I've helped people achieve successes in their areas of focus that they might not have been able to do before. And the way that that's done, it sounds a little ostentatious until I explain the way that I do that is by sharing my failures with them.
Yeah.
My failures over 4 decades now
Mm.
that have led to, that at first were painful for me, but by sharing those failures and how I turn those into successes and how
Mm.
my clients can turn those into successes
Mm. Mm.
keeps them from experiencing the pain of those failures to begin with. So my
Mm.
legacy is just helping them to keep from running into walls.
Mm. Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah.
And would you like to like share some of the failures right now on the podcast? Like what do you think like what were some of the biggest failures that you faced in your journey?
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't have a systematic way of talking with my staff more
Okay.
regularly.
Okay.
We talk with our staff. Of course, we're cordial, and of course, we have our meetings, and of course,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
we're walking business life together.
Mm.
But
Mm.
to sit down once a month with each staff member for a standing 10-minute meeting
Mm.
would have allowed me to say, how are you doing? Right? How are you doing? To really not when something is frustrating, not when something has gone wrong, and it's then a surprise for both of us. We can't both pay attention to each other the best in that environment. What's better is to have these standing 10-minute check-ins with our staff, not as a
Mm.
group, but just one-on-one.
Mm.
And each person in those two people promise to talk to each other in an open environment and a safe environment. So you start off with, how are you doing? And then you say, the last time when we talked, we said this was an obstacle for you. What have you done to help lower that obstacle
Wow.
for yourself?
Mm.
And have I succeeded as your
Mm.
employer in helping you lower that obstacle?
Mm.
And then you set a goal for the next 30 days. Okay, here's the next obstacle. Here's the next piece of the obstacle that we can
Wow.
tackle next together.
Mm.
That kind of communication, I think, would have served me a lot
Wow.
better in my
Mm.
earlier days.
Mhm.
The other part is, the other part is networking.
Okay.
I really I would have done more networking
Mm.
earlier
Mm.
in my
Mm.
career. I would have sought the expertise of people that knew more than I know. And I would have not only would I have sought it more, I would
Mm.
have accepted it more.
Mm.
You
Okay.
got to get past yourself. You got to
Yeah.
get past your own ego,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
sometimes it's just by admitting you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Mm.
So those are
Definitely.
a couple things that I would have done differently. But would I go back and really change my path? I mean, we can't anyway. But I really, well, I say that I have a regretted not communicating more. Do I have any real deep regrets or anything where I really felt like I went in the wrong direction? No, I'm very pleased with the path and the failures
Mm.
and the struggles and the successes that have afforded me the role that I get to have now to pour back into the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And as someone, who's deeply embedded in this space, you got a unique view on like where it is all headed in the future. So what trends do you think are shaping the future of pet services and education?
The trends that are shaping pet services and education, it's certainly the professionalism.
Okay.
It's having a job you're passionate about.
Mm. Mm.
The trends, like we said before, the trends now are those the most successful businesses and products and service providers
Mm.
are catering to the pet as a lifestyle companion for the pet parent,
Okay. Mm.
not their child,
Mhm.
not their dependent,
Mm.
not the pet that's tied up in the backyard, not
Mm.
the pet that they're going to overhumanize or live vicariously through by taking the pet to a spa and things. It's it's doing life together with your pet, and that the brands, the products, the service providers that focus
Mm.
on that lifestyle
Mm.
companionship
Mm.
will be the ones that win.
Mm. And last question from my end, Joe, like, like finally, like let's look ahead. What's next for Paragon, like for you personally and like in this growing, fast growing space?
Yeah. So what's next for Paragon? We will continue to chip away at this deficit of professional dog groomers. by serving individuals and pet oriented businesses who either already offer grooming or convincing these businesses that do not already offer grooming just how powerful grooming services can be to the overall health of their business. So what's next for Paragon? The deficit is so large in the availability or number of professional pet groomers that we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
We have tens of thousands of future groomers that are needed in this space to be able to adequately serve the pet parent population with their grooming needs. So Paragon will continue to grow professional pet groomers. We're going to continue to focus on doing that safely, efficiently, and with quality results.
And out of curiosity, like how many team members do you have currently?
We have 15 team members that are spread
Wow.
out all around the United States, and it's a powerful team. Our bench is not only our bench strength is not only wide. We come from a variety of different pet related backgrounds, but it's also deep. We have several hundreds of years worth of experience on our team. It is an impressive think tank. Best team I've ever worked with in my career.
Love it. Love it. And that's a wrap on the episode of Pet Brand Podcast. Joe, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you want to get more information about Paragon, I will leave all the links in the description below. And if you found value in today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with your fellow pet entrepreneur. And I'm Varnit, and this has been the Pet Brand Podcast, where we spotlight the leaders shaping the pet industry's future, one inspiring story at a time. Until next time, stay passionate, stay driven, and give your pets a little extra love from us. Take care. That's it.